All right. So I ordered the Insta360 Go Ultra. And no, it's not because Chris made a review out of it. Even before I saw that video, which is awesome by the way, I was already thinking about getting it. And after watching a couple of reviews by other videographers and cinematographers about it, there are just three main reasons why, even if I already have the Go 3 and the Go 3S, I still went and bought the fairly expensive Insta360 Go Ultra. First and foremost, the number one reason why I, even having multiple Go series cameras from Insta360, picked up the latest version is not because of the sensor, the image quality. That's just the natural progression of camera. Every new generation will have better sensor, slightly better optics, but in fact, most of the time, there's going to be some sacrifices with that increase of quality. Maybe it's the size, maybe it's the battery, but there is always something of a give and take whenever you push that particular boundary, particularly in smaller cameras. And I'll go back to the issue with the sensors later because, in all honesty, my Go 3 is still kind of the easiest to use, despite the Go 3S being a lot better in terms of image quality. But coming back, my number one reason you can finally connect Bluetooth wireless audio to the Go Ultra. So that means even if these action cameras are not particularly built for amazing audio, being able to connect other mics there, not just the Insta360 mic Air. If you have a DJI mic mini, that'll connect as well. You can ostensibly use that little tiny of a package for vlogging, very discreet vlogging at that. So I take my Go 3 every day with me to the gym because I have to film myself, my form, and send it to my trainer for review. And I've always kind of wondered, what if I can have a wireless mic connected to my Go 3 and I can kind of log, kind of do a log of the day, a diary for the day while I'm doing a lot of things that requires me documenting myself anyway. That'll be such a wonderful use case personally. But if you're just an everyday vlogger, having an extremely tiny camera that's easy to pocket, whip out, stick into places with quality audio. We all know now that audio is 50% of what makes a good video. So that will just up the quality of these ultra tiny action cameras moving forward. My number two reason is actually one of the things that I've always kind of griped about with the Go series of Insta360 is that these older generations, the memory is locked into the camera itself. There's no external micro SD slot where you can expand or make smaller the capacity of your camera. That's not necessarily the issue because I have my Go 3 as 64 gigabytes. I have my Go 3S as 128 gigabytes. For these tiny cameras, and I'm not a professional anyway, it's just for day-to-day things, couple of unique B-rolls here and there. That's more than enough. That's more hours than I can actually fill and download to my laptop and start editing from there. But it's always good to have just ostensibly an unlimited amount of space to record your footage, barring your camera having battery capacity. It just takes forever to download the footage from the Go 3S or Go 3 to your computer via the action dock itself. And actually, because I use my Insta360 Go 3 a lot in the gym, documenting my workout, sending it to my trainer, I actually got one of these connectors. So it's easier for me to connect by USB C to my laptop, drop the camera, and transfer files from there. It is limited by these little, I don't know if you can see, but it's limited by these little teeny tiny pins. So the download speeds is very, very slow. Just having an SD card will be able to hasten that process. But also, if you are doing multiple day shoots and you don't want to necessarily clear what's in your camera, now you can just have as many micro SD cards as you can. And then my last point, the reason why I'm upgrading is I love using my Go 3S as a POV cam when I'm playing softball. And as you can see, these cameras are tiny. That limits the length of time that you can continuously film using just the camera itself. So when I am doing, let's say, a full softball game, which runs 45 minutes to an hour, the Go 3S longest run that it could do in one full charge without dropping into the action pod, I've tested, is around 34 minutes. Actually, a little bit less. So if it's warmer, it gets a little bit less efficient. And the Go 3 is even less, around 28 to 30 minutes. And the Insta360 Go Ultra, having a different form factor, it's a little bit bigger. It has a larger sensor, more bells and whistles. Ostensibly, they can pack a little bit more battery in the camera itself. So it is listed to be a little longer than 40 minutes. So I hope that if it reaches around 45 minutes an hour, I can document an entire softball game of mine with just one charge. And just the length of the standalone camera being able to have continuous footage will be a great benefit for my use case. Again, these cameras, these teeny tiny cameras, they're not built for length. These are not built so that you can shoot for hours and hours and have hundreds of hours of footage. No, these are little bits and pieces of unique POV kind of stuff that you can splice into your A roll to have very, very interesting cuts and different perspectives. So, whilst you can go to other reviewers for a deep dive review of the particular camera unit, I'm sharing my reasoning why I bought the camera. There are certain features of it that just provides me with great benefit, even though I already have multiples of the camera. And I really agonize about buying another one, especially because I'm like ostensibly maximizing the use of my current Go lineup. But those three features that they've improved on the Go Ultra is just too hard for me to pass up on in my day to day. It might not be for your day to day. Your Go 3, Go 2, or original Go might be enough for quick pops of unique perspectives. But my use case, I'm very excited to have it on my hat, my entirety of my softball game, and do more of my multi-camera, multi-POV coverages of our fun recreational softball game. So that's what I'm having fun with a lot recently. When I do get my Insta360 Go Ultra, I will do an actual review of it, use cases of it, run it through its paces in terms of how a hobbyist will be using it. So you'll have some actual closer comparison on how you'd use it rather than those experts, those big shots in terms of videography and photography. Sometimes I watch those reviews and I look, I'm never going to use that way. I use it in way simpler ways. So I'm going to do that deep dive in my photography and performance channel. So this channel is vlog-ish, very personal. This is how my works. This is kind of like an info dump of how I went through my reasoning, balanced out the redundancy plus the cost, but the benefit of having much more peace of mind in terms of the battery life, being able to use it a little bit more in vlogging by connecting it to the wireless mic, and also being able to save more footage without having to format the camera itself through the SD cards. I think the value exceeded the redundancy of what I have currently right now. Plus, it's just going to be a fun toy to use. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, I hope to see you in your next video, and I hope to see you in the next of mine.